Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Grow with Evergreen. Today, our guest is Sean Lade. Sean runs a fantastic business specializing in water irrigation systems. Yes, that really is a thing. His business is doing amazingly well, but he does have some challenges. Specifically, those challenges are scaling his paid ads profitably. How many of you can relate to that? Also, with this business, as you might well imagine, seasonality is a key concern. He's got some big competitors in this market. And the kicker with this one is that Sean is one of our clients. This is going to be a fantastic episode. Let's get into it. Welcome to Grow with Evergreen, the podcast designed to help you grow your business by providing practical insights into all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy. Every episode, we help home, garden, and lifestyle brands with their growth challenges by delving into their business, dissecting what they're doing, and defining a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. Let's get into it. Right, so Con, here we are back for another episode of Grow with Evergreen. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
It's been a busy day. It's been a busy week.
It has
I seem
been a
to
busy
say that
week.
every week, though.
I know, yes, because it's agency life, isn't it? So,
It is.
yes,
It is. And we are, as we're recording this, we've got a very exciting week next week, haven't we?
We have.
Do you want to tell everyone what
indeed.
we're up to?
Well, now, so next week we are jetting off to Prague
We are.
to European Paid Media Awards, where we have been actually finalists in 6 categories.
Ooh.
6.
You heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. Not 1, not 2, not 3 or 4 or 5. 6.
6 categories.
It's going to be good fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're
It's
going to,
gonna be
the three
fantastic.
of us, the 3 likely lads, you, me and
Yes.
Darren, who's doing an amazing job behind the camera, are going to be jetting off to
Producer Darren.
Prague and having a jolly old time.
Yes, well, I think well deserved as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
think so. I think so.
I very, very rarely actually, I just give myself a pat on the back. But when I look at what we have been achieving recently, I'm just thinking, do you know what? Yeah, it is well deserved.
Yeah, I think it's the British thing, isn't it? And we just don't acknowledge our achievement.
No.
Well, do you know? No, actually, it's not that. It's agency life because
It is.
you're so
Yeah.
busy. You get a great result. You might put a cheeky little LinkedIn post up about it, but then you're on to the next, and you're done, and that's it, and you're off to the next one. And I think how many people can relate to that is we're all just so busy but I think it is that's why it's nice to just actually for the team bit of recognition, get to actually just step back. Maybe we'll down tools for a day or
Yeah,
so.
well,
Although we have already said we might have to take some of this get up and go off there and do some recording.
It
might
will
we?
be quite awesome, yes. And actually, now you said about downing tools for a day, I've got myself, and this is very sad, but I got myself a little portable monitor, which I'm going to be lugging with me.
There you go. But I think we have already said we are going to try and do a couple of tea talks, aren't we?
Yes.
Which is our other format. If you haven't seen those, do check the tea talks out. They are 15, 20-minute conversations with Team Evergreen where we delve into a topic. We'll link to those in the description. If you haven't checked them out, where have you been? But we're going to try and do a couple of those. We might struggle to do a podcast over there, I'll be honest.
Probably,
because
yeah.
we probably need a bit too much kit, don't we?
Yes.
And
yes.
I've only booked one suitcase for the 3 of us. It's probably a mistake with hindsight.
That will be a challenge.
I was booking the flights and it was, I went for one of these budget airlines, as you do, but you have to, pay extra for your seat, extra for your baggage. I'm surprised you get extra for quite literally like the seat or
For the
seat
actual
belt,
seat, yes.
It was, so no, I wasn't impressed. So I've booked so we're going to have to travel light is what we're going to have to do.
Wow.
Or we might have to do a Joey from Friends and just wear
just put
everything. Should we do that?
all the clothes, yes.
just jumper jeans plus our suit plus our shoes. I think we might have to do that. Anyway, we digress. So today we are, this is the first time we've ever had one of our clients on the pod.
Indeed.
This is going to be amazing.
It will be. It's so exciting.
Very excited about this. We've got Sean waiting in the wings. So Sean runs an amazing business. He first came to us. We asked him in the pre-chat when he joined because we couldn't remember. It was so long ago, and it's over 3 years ago now.
Yes,
which is
gosh,
it's just time
it's
flies
amazing.
when you're having fun working with good people. And we've had been on a heck of a journey, and his business has grown tremendously. And he's doing really well, and he's having a good time. Every time we speak to him, he's such a happy chappy, isn't he? He's always full of life, and he's one of our favourite clients. I know he can hear this. We love you, Sean. but no. So we got Sean on today. So for those that don't know, or those that are thinking, well, what's a water irrigation system? Should we just give a little overview of Sean's business then?
Yes.
So What kind of revenues is he doing?
Absolutely. So I think at the moment, Sean's revenues are sitting at around £1.5 million.
Ooh, that's not to be sneezed at, is it?
No,
That's
not at all.
And how many
not
team
at
members
all.
has he got?
Sean's business consists of 8 people. So at the moment, it's split between office and operations.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a nice little setup. And in fact, I think it cannot be overestimated, because when Sean first came to us, he was essentially just around 6 figures.
Yeah, oh yeah, easy. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a much smaller business, shall we say?
Was
Much
much
smaller business,
yes.
and has grown amazingly. And yeah, done really well. So, but even though he's doing well, even though he's growing, he has marketing challenges.
Yes,
of course
exactly.
He does. So, what are those challenges?
Yeah, so Sean's first marketing challenge is that he really wants to scale his paid ads and make them profitable, because obviously we know that with scaling paid ads, you get those diminishing returns. And this is something where Sean, I believe, wants some help with. And his second challenge is the seasonality of the product. So as you can imagine, with water irrigation systems, it's one of those products that, unless we've got a very, very sunny spell, they might not necessarily sell as well as we would like.
Great in the summer, dead in the winter.
Exactly. So this is a challenge, and just trying to sort of plug in these gaps, essentially.
And this is great, because with this episode, what we're going to be able to do is give not only what we would do, but also what we're doing and what we've done. So this is going to be fascinating. This is going to be a completely different sort of take, which is going to be great. Any other marketing challenges?
Yeah. So large retailers and how to compete against them, because obviously Sean, by his own admission, is slightly smaller, but smaller business.
Yeah. There are some huge
and
players.
There are huge players out there, and
so
so essentially Sean has to go against people like Screwfix and tool stations of this world.
Yeah, exactly that. So as we said, Sean's working with us for his paid media, for his marketing, but he likes to keep his hand in.
He does,
and
he's
so what platforms is he using alongside everything from Evergreen?
Yeah, so the big one for him is SEMrush. So that's where he gets all his intelligence from.
There you go. See, SEMrush is a good tool. We like SEMrush. His marketing spend. What does that look like?
So it's up to £350,000 a year, and obviously that changes month to month. But yes, but that's essentially the ceiling we've got. There you go. Now.
So nice, healthy budgets there.
Incredible.
That we are already making work very hard, and maybe from this podcast we can make him work even harder. What does Sean say his business will look like in 1 year?
Well, so as a scale up, obviously Sean would like to grow, and we are looking at the growth at the moment, anything between 20 to 50%
year on year.
So year on year, it is quite ambitious, but I'm not saying it's not achievable, because
exactly.
It certainly
it's not too dissimilar to what we've seen in the last couple of years. His business has grown tremendously over the last few years.
Yes.
So we can keep that trajectory. He's going to be a very happy boy, and
Absolutely.
we're going to be very happy for him. What does the business look like when it's finished?
Well, so Sean really would like to saturate the business with multiple streams of income, if that makes sense. So essentially, it's not just about water irrigation systems, but Sean is quite an ambitious entrepreneur, and we are seeing that already. That his business has got massive potential to have quite a few strings to his proverbial bow, and that's exactly what we are working towards as well.
Yeah, and we're already doing
really
some
good.
of that, and I'm sure Sean won't mind sharing some of what he's doing, because, as you say, he's got that entrepreneurial flair and is doing all sorts of really interesting things. Sean has also got some questions for us. Do you want to just quickly rattle what they are, and then we can get into the get him on?
Yes, definitely. So Sean would like to find out from us how possibly we could run certain experiments to determine which new product lines are worth exploring, and what to do, and how to make that decision, how to make the distinction,
so
which ones
experiments,
should go for.
We can share how we do the experiments, what we're doing, and sort of other ideas. Yeah, we can do that. What else?
And also, Sean would like to find out how we go about creating video content, how we can leverage video content for paid media, and specifically his niche as well.
Yep.
But that's a really interesting one.
It is, and a lot of brands, a lot of our clients, and a lot of prospective clients we're talking to. Everyone's talking video at the moment. And not just those polished, finished video, but actually, what can I create that's going to get that engagement? And it can be a bit rough around the edges. It can be a mix of video. So video is a very hot topic.
It is a hot
topic. Darren's delighted. But video is a hot topic, so we can happily talk about that. Anything else?
Yes, and Sean would like to also know if educational content is suitable for paid ads, which I absolutely love.
That's a contentious one.
It
right
is a
there,
contentious
you don't
one.
like that one. No, I can.
No. And
We,
also, do you know what I absolutely love about Sean as well? That he sent us a Brucey bonus.
of course he did. He's been working with Evergreen. He knows we love a Brucey bonus.
We do love a Brucey bonus, and the Brucey bonus is how we potentially could take his campaigns abroad. So essentially trying to go and dominate European
this
markets.
This is not something we've done so far, is it?
No,
we haven't done any international for Sean specifically.
We haven't.
There you go. So this is exciting.
This is quite a juicy one.
This is, watch along. We might upsell and get some more business out of this. Look at that. Double bubble win. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm jesting. So, right. I think, should we get the big man on the big show?
Yes.
Let's get him on. Sean, are you there, my friend?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
There he is. Sean, look, it's great to see you, great to hear you. And thank you so much for jumping on the Grow with Evergreen pod. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Did we do your business justice in the intro? In your opinion?
Did indeed.
Did
yes,
we?
Definitely.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure you can go one better. Do you want to just give us a quick 30 seconds who you are, what's your business? Over to you.
Yep, of course. I'm Sean, 39. I've turned 40 this year. I have been running Easy Garden Group for just over 10 years now. We've been hyper-focused on garden irrigation systems, so anything and everything to do with watering the garden, so hose pipes, automatic watering systems. I mean, it's not a super sexy product, but we've lent in and worked really hard to do our best selling that kit. And then in the future, as the name might suggest, Easy Garden Group, we're looking to add extra gardening related websites to the group. Obviously been super focused on just garden irrigation, getting our customer support way up high, working as brilliantly as it can, getting our e-commerce operation as a whole with the warehouse operations working as best as it can.
Yep.
Now we've really got that on point. We're just looking to copy and paste into different gardening websites now.
I like that. It's good. It's good. That's perfect. That's a great intro. Thank you so much. So, also your mic's ever so slightly echoey, so you just need to be careful of that. It's just got a little bit echoey there on the intro, and I want to make sure everyone can hear you nice and clear. So, as I say, we sort of hinted at you. The main website is Easy Garden Irrigation. That's the website that's absolutely flying. It's doing really well. Really owning the space, aren't we? If you think about all we've done together over the last few years, really built you into the authority in that space. And it's we've used paid media as a key driver for driving that growth, haven't we?
Yes.
Good stuff. So let's get straight into these marketing challenges then. So you want to talk about scaling paid ad in a profitable way. Just expand on that. What did you mean and what did you want to know?
Yeah, of course. So we are profitable in the way that we're using our ad spend. So we're getting, Con will probably be able to tell me the exact numbers, but I think it's about a 5x return on ad spend. So that is profitable. It is, yes. But then it's getting it to the, scaling up further sort of thing. Obviously, we've got a very optimized account, but it's a case of like that. I'm always looking for growth, and in our market, where 100% of interest might only be, say, 1,000 people searching in February, but 100% of interest searching in May is like 10,000, 100,000 people. So it's like, how can we try and expand our ads to reach more people, basically, during those really peak periods? Yeah,
as you said, and that's the thing with your business. Arguably more than most other clients we work with is the seasonality is unbelievable, isn't it? We see such a difference for when the sun is out. Yeah, it's we're off to the races.
Absolutely, and I think it's very important to acknowledge that with the Sean's business, we can see massive changes literally week to week.
Yeah, day
it's
to day.
Crazy, day to day. Exactly that.
Go on.
I was just going to say that what with this challenge, and it's something that we really have explored multiple times, and we really have gotten to the point now where Google ads are just flying. It's absolutely incredible. So essentially, we are now doing quite a good return on even reduced budgets. So what we started looking into doing is, because we've nailed Google, let's start bringing different channels in.
Yes,
and I think this is exactly where we need to the strategy we need to take now. So obviously we know that Google is performing, which is great, but Google is everything is based on intent, isn't it? So when we use Google for almost reeling the traffic in, we then now need to use other platforms just to remarket and just to stay on top of people's minds all the time. So that's why we started rolling out Meta.
Yeah. Are we doing Bing for Sean?
We are currently we are in the process of launching it. Yes.
Okay, fine. Because again, that's the going into Bing. I think with Google getting to the 5 times ROAS and maintaining the 5 times, there aren't many brands right now maintaining a 5 times ROAS with the wider economic world going on. Lots of accounts seeing a year-on-year real decline in terms of their return on ad spend. So the fact that you and the team have managed to maintain that, I think is really, really good. I think there are things we're doing and we can discuss with Google, but I think from I say the big thing, and for those watching, when you get to a point, if you are very reliant on any one channel platform, you always want to get more out of that platform. You always want to scale it, but you will get to a point where you will start to see diminishing returns, depending on the size of the market, depending on various factors. So looking at other channels that make sense for the brand, I think, as you say, Bing makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
If we think about the target customer, that is a logical next step. Now we've proven the model with Google, Bing becomes the next natural step. That makes a lot of sense. And then Meta as well.
Yes, and I think from the paid side of things, that it makes perfect sense. I know that you, Sean, are doing quite a few experiments on TikTok from the organic side of things. Mm-hmm. So that's absolutely incredible, because obviously any extra traffic that we can bring to the website is then going to translate into how well we're going to perform on paid side of things.
Is that what, Sean? Is that where I saw some of your videos? Because I've seen that you pop up on videos a couple of times. Would it have been on TikTok?
It would have been TikTok, yes.
Was it? Are you posting that anywhere else? Those little short form videos?
On Instagram as well, but they're originally made for TikTok, and then we just copy and paste it over to Instagram. To be honest,
I like those. I think they're good. It's almost got that. It's not UGC, but it's got that kind of vibe to it, isn't it?
It does have a UGC vibe to it, and because it's behind the scenes kind of stuff, it's brilliant.
And it'll work. It's what it is
work,
what we're seeing working right now, isn't it? So,
yes,
no, I like that.
Absolutely,
I like that. So I think Bing is going to be a really good one, and then as you say, Meta is why are you thinking Meta? So when you've been talking to Sean, just generally, why are we thinking Meta? What do we think is valuable about Meta? Why are we now adding it into the mix?
It just makes sense to retarget via Meta, because essentially when people visit Sean's website, we want to bring people back to that website, and also Sean's audience is on Meta. Yep. And if we look at the demographics that we are in general targeting, most people on social media of choice is going to be Meta, or it's going to be Facebook or Instagram. So this is very much strategic decision.
So, sorry.
Because we could have gone down the route of maybe just going straight into things like Pinterest, for example. But we did also had a conversation about Amazon ads, but we decided that probably at this point of scalability is not that great of an idea. Mm-hmm. So Meta was the logical choice.
And Meta for retargeting makes all the sense in the world. We are big fans of using that to, re-engage that audience, stay top of mind. Meta for prospecting as well, or no?
Not at the moment. No, at the moment we are just running Meta for remarketing. So what we want to do, we just want to utilize that Google traffic we currently have and just remarket, the living daylight out of it.
Sure. What are your thoughts on diversifying into different channels?
I think it's a no-brainer. So we've been, for the last 10 years, been hyper-focused on just Google, to be honest. I've always had in my mind, I'm capturing people at the point of maximum interest. It's when they're searching. But obviously, I didn't think about all the other channels, how they could be used for remarketing to the same person, so to the same people. So honestly, I now see it as a no-brainer, but I obviously it took on to obviously, how can I put it? Encourage me to explore it.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here to do. But I think it does. I think this year, this is going to be our 3rd or 4th year now in terms of our peak season. It's going to be fascinating because for the first time, we're going to have additional strings to that bow that we've just not had before, additional revenue streams. It does require that additional investment. So for those watching that won't know the numbers, like we know the numbers on Sean's account, what are we doing? Are we investing more in those platforms, or are we robbing from Peter to pay Paul in terms of taking Google budget? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So basically, we've actually optimized the Google account so much that we've reduced our Google spend. basically, whilst actually increasing the return on investment. That saving that we've had there, we're spending it now on Meta. So we've maintained budget, but we've just made the Google spend more efficient,
Right.
freeing up budget for the other channels.
Well, that's the dream scenario, isn't it? Because then we can go and add more strings to that bow, and it's really, we're not having to invest anything more, anything further into it, which is great. And I think then I suppose the next thing is once we prove the model with Meta, with Bing, with these platforms, so you can demonstrate a really good ROI. Well, then it becomes a no-brainer. If we can go, well, look, let's, for every £1 we invest in, we're going to get 4 back, 5 back. Okay, well, let's put a few more pounds in there then. So I think that makes absolute sense.
Exactly that. And also because we do not want to stop at all. So we know that we have got, a little bit money in the pot. So in case if we would want to explore another channel, then we can comfortably, without fearing that we're going to sort of in any way damage that ROAS, we can just go out and just try new things. And I think that's the beauty of where we got the account at this point.
Just thinking about Google then, do you think we have maximized Google yet? Or do you think there's still road to, is there still improvements to be further made?
There is still some way to go, yeah.
How broad are we in terms of the categories, the campaigns we're going? Is there more categories of product that we're not leveraging that we could introduce, or are we already covering everything?
We are covering just about everything, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what we do is we've got a very nice spread when it comes to different campaign types.
Yeah.
So we've got very nice search campaigns which are running in parallel with shopping as well as remarketing.
Just on that, just for those that are going to watch this that won't necessarily know, okay, well, how do you get an account structure to be delivering a 5 times return and that is therefore requiring less spend? What is the structure? Because what we've done with Sean has been through trial and error. It's been through, some time to really get the thing firing well. So what does a very well optimized account look like from a structure campaign type perspective? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we've got a search campaign, which is brand search campaign. So essentially, for anybody who is familiar with Sean's brand, when they search for the brand for Easy Garden Irrigation, then automatically they will be presented with 2 search results. One of them will be sponsored as an ad. The other one will be organic, which is great. So that way, obviously, we are maximizing those brand terms, but also within that campaign, we've got another ad group, which very much targets a very specific products as well. So irrigation systems and sprinkler systems and so on. So that's our search.
Okay.
Then from search, we are feeding into remarketing. And another way of remarketing is is dynamic remarketing.
Sure.
So we are then, we split those for just your standard display remarketing, which is great. And the other one is your remarketing based on the website visit. So the dynamic ads are being then shown based on the search terms.
And Performance Max?
We don't have Performance Max.
Do we not?
No.
Standard shopping?
We've got standard shopping,
Just standard shopping. Interesting. There you go.
Yes.
See, you don't have to do Performance Max. Who knew?
Well, the thing about Performance Max is that I'm a little bit apprehensive when it comes to Performance Max for this particular account, mainly because I can do everything that I could do with Performance Max without having to spend all that silly money.
Without having to spend the premium and going with a black box within a black box. But do you know what? That is such a key takeaway that you don't have to, even in this day and age. You don't. If you're e-commerce, your transaction, you're selling product, you don't have to go all in on Performance Max. How many brands, prospective clients, do we look at their accounts and they've just gone, we're going to dump everything in Performance Max and just hope for the best?
Yes, in fact, we have seen
such
in few reviews recently, we have seen some Performance Max campaigns that essentially were looking only after search campaigns, which to me is a complete fallacy.
That is a real head scratcher, isn't it? We have seen that, as you say. Yeah, Performance Max that are on search only. That is quite something. Before we go any further, are you enjoying today's episode? If so, you'll love our other show, Tea Talks. They're short, informal chats where the Evergreen experts and I share actionable nuggets on all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy that we use daily when growing our clients' businesses. And best of all, much like this podcast, it's completely free. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, see the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, so I think scaling, Sean, also, I'm very conscious that I want to get into this one around seasonality.
Yes.
Because this is huge for Sean, huge for a lot of brands, is whether it's the summer's peak or Christmas's peak or whatever, but most brands have that peak season. And then and that's great. When the grass is green, that's great. But what do you do outside of that? So do you want to just give us Sean, actually, what are your thoughts on that? Because obviously we've had so many conversations over the years regarding seasonality, and obviously summer's great, but then in the off season. So how have you found it running a business that has a very quiet few months?
Oh yeah, it's really tricky. So in our business, it's almost liking it to farming. To be fair, when we're selling garden irrigation equipment, it's not only the time of year where in a lot of businesses, when it's like, oh, Christmas time is the time for them, it's not really weather dependent. For us, it's not only is it important during the growing season, that time of year, it's also what is the weather like? How is it behaving? Obviously, this year has been very wet for us.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot of people in our industry are reporting down with actually reporting up. So thank you very much, Con, for that. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
But yeah, essentially, it's very much the weather that affects us, not just the time of year. We make a loss during the winter months. Obviously, we're looking to diversify
Sure.
websites that we have to fill those gaps. But
it's tough, isn't it? It is tough. And I think it's a lot. It's tough for a lot of brands. That
Yes.
they do, and we've seen that in the ads. I mean, we've seen firsthand the traffic, the sales. I mean, it is like night and day, isn't it?
It really
when
is,
the sun
yes.
is shining, we can't serve enough ads, and we can't spend enough budget to get the return. Yet, you get forward to December, January, it's dead.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, and it normally starts around November, and then so essentially what we've started doing is we really mothball our campaigns just to make sure that essentially the maintenance product or maintenance lines or SKUs are essentially then searched for.
Yes,
So
yeah.
anything to maintain that water irrigation system throughout the winter is something that we are promoting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Sean? This is what we go for essentially.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
And then as the season goes on, we then start switching back on certain campaigns and just optimizing them back again. So, so Google will start learning that, okay, towards maybe February, March, people will start searching for these products yet again. But in that very quiet period, like I said, we have mothballed quite massively. We decreased budget significantly. But at the same time, we started looking at different areas of where we could make that income. So you, Sean, have launched another little business on the back of that, haven't you?
I have indeed. Yeah. So I was actually speaking with Aaron January last year. It was. I came to him with the challenge of like, we're a super seasonal business. What can we do? We talked through some ideas, and we came up with gardening gifts, selling gifts, so sales in October, November, December, but that are gardening related. We had a quick look. First website idea was Easy Garden Gifts. Great, apart from obviously looking into it, any recipients don't want to receive something from Easy Garden Gifts. It's like, it was an easy purchase, was it? So then we rethought that, and then we luckily acquired gardeninggifts.co.uk.
It's great domain name. Great domain name. How good is that? It's a great domain. Yeah, no, I remember that conversation well, and I think it's a simple solution, but just going, well, look, people are not buying their watering systems. They may be maintaining them, but they're not buying them, in December. What are they buying in November, December?
Precisely
Gifts,
that. And
Christmas.
I think this is where we probably need to look a little bit broader in terms of what other garden related products that will be sold outside of that peak season could potentially be brought into the fold.
I think this as a business is so sure. Well, this will be the second Christmas, this one coming, won't it, for gardening gifts?
It is, yeah.
This will be the second one,
We didn't start working on that new website, although we came up with the plan in January. We didn't actually start work on it till October, September. We had it up and running just in time for Black Friday, and we did 10K in the first 30 days. So we were really happy with that. And it just the concept was proven basically.
Yes, yeah.
That Christmas. So I've had someone dedicated on that website now, just to obviously build it up, build
Yes,
authority,
yeah.
get more products listed on there, obviously sourcing new products and whatnot. So we're really excited for Christmas.
This year's going to be a good year, isn't it? This will probably be the first year where it will make a noticeable contribution to the overall group and have a real financial impact, which is very exciting, isn't it?
It is, and I genuinely believe that actually just diversifying is the answer.
Yeah, I think it is. I think for any season, you've just got to, as you say, and I think what Sean's done really well with this is, the idea's there, but then actually he can tap into his connections, his contacts, who he knows and how things work, because it's not a hop, skip and a jump really to go from watering systems into gardening gifts. It's different, yes, but it was very doable. And so Sean could leverage. And I think that's it. If you're running a brand, if you can find something that's related, that vertically integrates into what you're already doing, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and it becomes so much easier to do.
And just to touch on that, I think what Sean has done really well is he used his expertise of the actual niche to be able to just make some extra money out of it.
Absolutely, yeah,
it's fantastic.
Exactly. So I think that's got to be the key takeaway on seasonality. Is you can take a horse to water, you can't force it to drink. So if people just don't want to buy your product out of season, whatever that might look like for your brand, don't try and force it. Just look at what else you could do to complement that, to sort of, run alongside it. Because now, in theory, with Sean, he can run a great business through the summer months. And then he's got, just as that one's starting to peter out, he can be dialing up for Black Friday. And as we go into the back end of the year and towards Christmas, so the two should work beautifully. And then as we come into January, okay, that one's going to quieten down. But then you get into February, March, you're dialing back up. So suddenly you go from having a 6-month window of very little to now, okay, you might have a few weeks, which I'm sure Sean's going to be that busy. He probably wants to lie down, and that'll be fine. So I think that makes a lot of sense. So the third one then, which I want to get into, is the competing with larger retailers. Now, this is we'll get Sean to share his thoughts in a minute, but just all of our clients have huge competitors.
They do.
And I think anyone watching this will also go, everyone's got a bigger competitor, haven't they? So it's you've got to be creative, you've got to get out there. But Sean, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on these competitors? Are you seeing it become more difficult, easier? What are your thoughts?
I think it's actually getting easier, to be honest. Obviously, with your help, the major competitors that we have are Amazon Screwfix. Obviously, I'm thinking about that from a overall perspective. Easier, mainly because we can offer more than those competitors are able to offer themselves.
Sure. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, and just to really very quickly sort of touch upon that, I think all our ads and the communication is essentially geared up to just showcase the authority and the value as well.
Yes.
So I think even if we look at the actual ads, I mean, our ads are very descriptive. The titles are so optimized that they do trump Amazon quite easily, and it's fantastic
because our ads, and I think they're not generic. You've got to put in the time and the effort to really craft them. It's art. It really is art. It sounds a little bit woo-woo to say, but you've really got to take the time to craft those ads to make them sing, because that does have those marginal gains. That makes the difference, particularly when, as you say, you're going up with these huge but somewhat generic competitors that sell everything.
Yes, and that's exactly it. And another thing that we're really excelling at is matching the audience with people who are most likely to buy. Because if we look at an average customer, they go to Amazon or to B&Q because they want to save money. What we do is we make sure that our ads are being put in front of people who are after quality.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. Exactly, and I think, as you say, it's the quality, it's the relevance. Relevance is the key word in any kind of paid media. Is make it relevant. We also have spent. I'm just thinking of some of the things that I know that you and I have discussed. Is the things that we've done is we've really made a big focus on thinking about the after the click.
Yes.
So when you go onto the website, I mean, Sean's got. I mean, for anyone that hasn't got, make sure you go onto Sean's website, easygardenirrigation.co.uk. It's a beautiful website. It's the best looking website in the sector.
It is, absolutely.
And it's very easy to find what you need to find. It's very easy to navigate. It really does look the part. And crucially, so that's made that after the click, it's a great experience for the customer. And so also often brands don't think about that. They put all their time and effort into the ads. Okay, but once they've clicked the ad, where are they going? Oh, your page, the experience of trying to buy a product is difficult. You're making people jump through hoops. You're making things hard to find. You're making, decisions difficult to make. Remove those obstacles.
Exactly that, yeah.
And then we spent a lot of time doing that, looking at heat mapping, all the more kind of technical stuff. We've done a lot of that to really make sure that conversion rate, how people are, not just clicking, but then ultimately going on to convert, make sure we're really covering all of those points, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think this is a very important point because, clicks do not pay your bills.
Yeah, exactly that.
So yes.
No, exactly that. So I think with the how you can compete, I think also the other big point to make is the creative.
Yes,
is really, and that's going to be even more relevant when it comes to Meta.
Yes,
because the creative is going to be And Sean, you do some of your own videos and you're creating all of your stuff, aren't you? So do you want to expand on that? What are you doing from a creative standpoint to make the brand stand out against these bigger competitors?
So we're actually beginning our journey with that, to be honest. So it's literally a month ago we started putting up our first videos.
Yeah.
I've been on the hunt for a content creator, and I'm pleased to say that I have offered a job to someone. They accepted, so they'll be starting in mid-June. I obviously haven't even had a chance to let you guys know that's the case.
That's great. That's
brilliant.
News. There you go.
Loving
we
it.
Found that out. That's fantastic. Oh, well done. That's because we knew you were looking. Well, that's great. I think that's
the world exclusive. That is.
There you go. But that is amazing. That's going to be so helpful. So what are they going to be doing, Sean? What sort of things will they be doing?
So it's going to be a lot of educational content. That's going to be so I'm really into content marketing in general.
Yep.
So they'll be creating YouTube videos and but obviously I'm hoping that we can repurpose some of that content into ads as well.
Yeah, which is where we'll come in and take care of that for you in terms of taking that content and be able to make it work for those ad platforms, because it's going to need to be short, sharp, to the point, clear calls to action and so on. But absolutely, that Darren is rubbing his hands together at the opportunity to get into that and be able to actually bring that creative, bring those ideas to life and really make him work for the ads, because a lot of what you're going to create organically to become that authority won't work out of the box for ads. So we'll need to take that and adjust that. But love that. That's such a great result, I think, and it ties into a big part of the strategy we've had with you with yourselves for a long time now, which is as well as running alongside building and growing the ads. It's about building the authority and becoming the authority in your space. We've done tea talks on this exact discussion, where if you want to be really build a successful business and not have an over reliance on any channel, which we do paid media every single day, but we still advocate do not become overly reliant on paid media, because on any channel for that matter, you've got to have you don't want to put in the same way as you wouldn't want to have all of your revenue reliant on one customer or one, you need to make sure all of your eggs are not in one basket. And one way Sean's been doing that is by establishing this authority, becoming the authority in the space. And if you're doing now YouTube videos and long form content, that is going to feed in perfectly into establishing yourself as the authority.
And I would also say that massive kudos to Sean for turning his website into a huge information resource as well.
And it really is. And that has so many benefits, because if you become the authority, and again, check out our tea talks if you want to see how you do it. But if you become the authority in your space, what that does is it means you get more traffic that you earn. So because you're earning it through your content, through how authoritative the value you're sharing, the education you're providing.
Yes.
In turn, that will increase the footfall to your website, which will mean you get more people on your social media channels, more people sign up to your email. So that's more people you're nurturing. It will also increase the amount of people that are searching for your by brand name, that are returning, that are repeat buying. So you increase that LTV, that lifetime value, the average order value. That goes up because people know you, they like you, they trust you, they come back and buy from you again. And then what that does is dilute down the reliance on paid, which is what Sean said earlier that he's seeing is he's getting a better return on his ads because he's not having to spend to try and compete because he's so reliant on using paid media to drive the growth of his business.
Yeah.
Paid media is one string in the bow, and that's the secret sauce, and that's what Sean's doing
Very
so
much
well.
so. Oh,
That
yeah,
is the secret
fantastic.
sauce of online growth. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And it is that it's that backbone of digital marketing that we come back to, which is that core evergreen principle concept, that backbone of digital marketing. Traffic you buy, traffic you own, traffic you nurture, traffic you earn.
That's exactly it, yes. And that very nicely actually brings us to the one of the questions that Sean has asked, which was how that educational content be supported with paid ads.
What are your thoughts? Come on, you're smirking, you're smiling. What are your thoughts?
No, my thoughts are, and actually I was dead against it before knowing the exact context of what you are planning to be doing, Sean. And I think if we were going to use educational content in its traditional sense, so for example, blog post or a page on the website, I really still would be dead against it. But if the content that you want to put out is really educational and engaging, then by all means, as Aaron said, that can be sliced, chopped, and pieced into a nice piece of sponsored content that will not look like an ad.
Yeah, there you go. No, it will work. And so, Sean, is that what you're thinking of doing then with some of this content? Is taking parts of it to then, are you keen to put it into the ads to provide that not so much product centric, but more the lifestyle, the education, the value, the expertise?
I mean, that does sound really good. Honestly, I had no idea how I was going to do it. All I knew is that I wanted to build content for educational purposes.
Yes,
So obviously, engaging, entertaining. It's not just about the education sort of thing. It's informing the customers, but also building community around it. I was just wondering, I'm creating this content. How can I also use it for paid media? And I was just going to hand that off to you guys, to deal with.
We'll sort it out for you. But that is the great thing. It's why we love working with you, Sean, because you're thinking the right thing. You're asking the right questions. Creating that content is going to have so many benefits, like a domino effect of benefits, because builds your authority, gives you stuff for socials, gives you stuff for your email marketing, also increases the people that are returning those direct people because they're coming back because you're educating them, you're adding value, particularly in this sector where people have a lot of questions. And then in turn, we can then use that for, not in the same guise, but we'll be able to chop it up, slice it and dice it and use it within the ads as well. So no, it works. It works a treat. I'll tell you one of the other questions, and that is, I want to go to your. You asked a question about experiments. Are we running experiments for Sean? I know in the past we have. Are we doing anything at the minute?
Yes, not at the moment. No.
Okay. Is that because, we don't need to. We've actually got the account working like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, the main reason why we've not had a chance to experiment that much this year is because we were very much focused on growth. And essentially what we wanted to make sure of is that we are maximizing what we can maximize without necessarily, without upsetting the apple cart, if that makes sense.
So if we did want to do some experiments, as Sean put in his question, how can we run experiments to which new product line? So if Sean's bringing, are you bringing in new products, Sean, into the ecosystem?
I've got so many ideas for products.
Amazing.
But rainwater harvesting was such a no-brainer that we're not doing at the moment. With the wet weather, having something to offer rainwater harvesting, it would just balance that the business really nicely. So that was one thing that I was thinking of.
Okay.
And then also green walls. So we've already been designing irrigation systems for green living walls.
Sure.
It's a bit of a no-brainer just to offer the green living walls as well to go with it.
Yeah.
So these are ideas that I've been having, but I want to get like a proof of concept. I want to experiment and see, is it actually worth going after this?
Yeah.
Or should I steer clear?
I think in the first instance, the key thing that, again, we can do for you and is you've got to go out and do the research. You've got to look, what is the market? How do people from a search perspective, from a paid search perspective, how do people search? So look at your data and really, we can happily do that for you, Sean, is look at that and see, okay, how do people search? Is there a market for this? That's the first thing, isn't it? And then from there, it's going to be over into the ads. And what are your thoughts?
Yes, and I was going to say that I think the very the minimum we could do in terms of experimentation would just be a very simple search campaign and just see what kind of volumes we are getting from that. Because if the volumes are very low, then there is not much point running them. So we just need to give ourselves a good 6 to 8 weeks of data to be able to fully understand whether there is an actual demand for that.
And so you would run a search campaign. So what would you run that? Would you run that on exact match? Are you going to go broad? What do you think you would do?
I would just do the mixture and to throw something else to it. I would possibly go with Discover ads as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because that would then essentially showcase the product. So people might not necessarily actually know the term, but they visually know what they're looking for
when they see it. Yeah, that's a really good idea. So I think, and the good thing, whenever we do experiments, whenever we're dipping our toe in the water, we're always very conservative with budget.
We are incredibly,
because we want to, as you say, we need to prove proof of concept. But I think that first phase, those first 6 to 8 weeks, once you've done some research, so you've got a good idea of people, this is how people search for the products. We can run some ads. I think Discovery is a great shout. You can run some ads. We can get the data in. And then once you've got that data in, we can then really reverse engineer that and say, okay, well, how do people search? Because there's going to be so many learnings in that initial phase of data, that first couple of months of data, that will give you what's working, what's not, how do we need to tweak and change the ads and the ad copy and the landing page and so on. And so it's really that learning phase we need to go through before you, and then you almost go back for a second bite of the cherry, don't we?
You do.
For months 2, 3, and 4. And then, so it's kind of a gradual thing, isn't it? You sort of go, come back, review, then you go again, bit bigger. And that's kind of how we've grown this account, isn't it? We test and measure, test and measure, test and measure.
Yes, and I think an important part of it as well is that it's one of those things that it's very difficult to actually say which way it's going to go, because some of those experiments, they can just make the product fly off the shelves.
Yes,
but the other ones you will just get a tumbleweed. And I think it's very important to fully appreciate the fact that so it's a concept that hasn't been yet tested. So we just need to trust the process really, and just draw a conclusion.
I quite like the idea though of testing a couple of different things.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
quite nice, because we get that mix. We can see, okay, it's almost an A/B test in itself. Is we've got 2 new product lines, 2 new service offerings. Let's run them and let's see. We give them the same budget, same scenario. That's quite nice. I quite like the idea.
It is, and also with that in mind, what I would be very tempted to do is that once we have seen some traction through Google Ads, let's just see if we can engage other platforms to learn some more. So, for example, run a very simple remarketing on retargeting on Meta.
I'm conscious of time. I want to get in the Brucey bonus.
Yes,
we love a Brucey bonus.
Is beautiful.
So
love it.
Sean asked, how would we go about running paid ads in Germany, France, Germany, Holland? Sean, on that, is that something you're actively wanting to do then?
It is, yes.
Interesting. Where's that come from?
So we've been getting our ducks in a row to start exporting. The product that we sell, garden watering systems and anything to do with automatic watering in general, super mature market in France, in Germany, Italy, Spain. In fact, Britain is the baby market of Europe. The fact that we're doing really well in the UK, it just means that there is plenty of opportunity if we start exporting overseas.
Okay, interesting. Con, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that we just need to start with localization. So essentially take everything that we have done so far, translate all the copy, and just make sure that we work with an actual expert and a proper linguist. We can't do it easily using Google Translate.
No, we're not going to just go to Google Translate. Absolutely not.
And take it from there. And I think it's a no-brainer doing it this way. So essentially what we do is just we've already proved the concept in the UK. So we take the entire model.
Reinvent the wheel with
there is no need to reinvent the wheel.
No.
All we do is we just play on the on translation, localization. We're going to then try and work out how big that pie is over on the continent, so we can see which are the biggest competitors and so on. Because effectively what we're going to do is we're just going to do everything that we've done so far in different language.
Just in a different locale. I can tell you the key thing though that we will bake into if we do this is going to be reverse engineering the competitors in France to see the difference between, say, the French competitors and the UK, and crucially what type of ads. That's going to give as well. Yes, we can translate the ads, but there will be nuances and quirks to how the copy's written, how the things are positioned, and there'll just be those frankly, cultural differences in the ads. And when we do some international ads, and there are always those things, and there's so much gold you can pick up by looking at the competitors.
Exactly.
And of course, there are tools like SEMrush and various other tools are available, but there are lots of tools out there that can help you to do this, to reverse engineer and understand what types of ads they're running, what's working, where's getting engagement, and how they're performing. And so that's going to have to be a big part of this per location to really understand those nuances of what's working, what's not.
And of course, audiences.
And audiences. Yeah, that's going to be the other thing. So yeah, Sean, I think it's, I think that's really exciting that I didn't know that was part of the plan, but I think that's very exciting if we want to do that. Is there, of those three, France, Germany, Holland, is there one that you're thinking initially, or do you want to just go into all three?
Probably France to start off with.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
To get into it. Well, there you go. We've come on this podcast. We've got some new business out there. No, Sean, we will follow up with you on that, and we will happily take care of that for you, my friend, and
absolutely
get those rolled out. Are we thinking for this summer then?
No, I think I've missed the boat for this summer.
Okay.
So getting planned and ready for a big launch next March would be really good.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, we've got time then.
But we can experiment.
I think I am thinking, I might push you on that. I am thinking a little experiment or two might be an idea, just to sort of dip our toe in the French water, as they say.
In the channel.
I think that might be. Yeah, exactly that. I think that could be an idea. Sean, did you have any other questions or anything? Is there anything else you want to know? Yeah?
No, they were my top points.
I've loved having you on. So for anyone that's listening to this, watching this, that thinks, do you know what? I like that, Sean. I need a bit of irrigation for my garden because I'm fed up with going out with a watering can. Where can they find you, my friend?
They can find us on our website, easygardenirrigation.co.uk. Give us a call. We've got a really friendly team of experts. Any advice that you need around garden watering systems, we're you guys.
Amazing. Thank you, Sean. And actually, just on that, Sean's underplaying that, because what he and his team do is take so much time to really work with you and build a plan and a visual and really make a solution work for you, your garden. And it's amazing. I've seen it firsthand.
Yes,
it's incredible. It's a really great service. So it's not just about the product. It's actually about the service and the customer service as well, isn't it?
And to be perfectly honest, I think again, when people think water irrigation, they just think, oh, I'm just going to get myself a hose pipe. But actually, it's nowhere near it. It's just making sure that the irrigation system is there to last, and it's not your typical B&Q kind of cheap hose pipe which is going to split throughout the summer. It's something, it's out of this world, and we can't geek out on it for, that shows my age.
We do, no, exactly. Well, before we start to sound like really old men, I think we're going to wrap this one up. So Sean, thank you so much for coming on the Grow with Evergreen pod. We really appreciate it, and you'll be hearing from us next week as we're back into thick of things. But great to have you on, my friend, and we'll speak soon. Yeah, take care.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
Too.
Bye for now.
I loved having Sean on. He's so lovely, isn't he? We love working with Sean. But it is, in all seriousness, it is such a great business. And I love the fact that he wants to go international.
Yeah, I think
the next natural step. How exciting is that? If you just think of from where that brand was 3 years ago to now, becoming one of the dominant players in the UK market, to the point where we're getting a great return on Google Ads, so that we can actually take the money we're making, the surplus money, and actually invest it in other being Meta. And then we're adding additional strings to the bow in terms of looking at that seasonality, thinking, I can add a gifts business onto the sort of the group, and then thinking internationally. Sean is quite literally taking the how to build an online business playbook and just running with it.
Really
He's doing ticking all of the things off. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh, it's incredible, and I think Sean is incredibly modest with everything that he says. But in fact, a lot of ideas over the years came from him as well, and I think the entrepreneurial mind of that man is just amazing.
We love it.
Love
it. There you go. We love having great businesses, scale up businesses that are lovely people that really just want to grow. That's what who we love working with. It's who we love having on the pod. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you thought in the comments. We'd really appreciate it. And we're gonna skedaddle off, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye for now.